Defendant will be held pursuant to Arthur at no bond.
23-year-old Elijah Mackey appeared before a judge for the first time Friday, where he was given no bond. According to court documents on Wednesday, around 10:10 p.m., Osceola County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call of a shooting at Checkers on West Earlo Brunson Highway. A customer was getting his food from the front window. The document says he was arguing with a female employee and asked to speak with a manager. One witness says the customer wanted more mayonnaise packets. The document says
it's always going to be over a female.
From Checkers shows Mackey climbing out of a drive-through window and walking to the front of the business where the victim was. A witness says the customer made a derogatory comment to Mackey. That's when Mackey pulled out a small handgun from his waistband and shot the.
This young man is old enough to be my son. This is absolutely insane. Over some words. Dude's going to spend the rest of his life in prison over some words.
In the chest. It says Mackey took off on foot but came back to grab his backpack before taking off again. Deputies found him hiding in a stairwell at this Celebration Suites. The victim was taken to the hospital where he later died. People staying at nearby hotels for the holiday weekend say they were in shock to hear the news.
Whatever. I'm not even in shock anymore. A lot of this stuff kind of reminds me of how it used to be in the 80s when I used to travel back and forth to school from Brooklyn to Manhattan when I was 14 years old, 15 years old. And there was a group called Decepticons, and they would be on the 4 trains and the 6 trains, and they would be just going nuts. Sometimes there were incidents where if you stepped on somebody's sneaker and scuffed them up, you'd get shot. This is kind of the feeling I'm getting as to where we are today as a society. And a lot of it has to do with the authorities placing handcuffs on parents, not allowing them to discipline their kids. Some of these kids need beatings. I'm going to say this very loud and clear for you guys. Some of y'all need beatings. Let's be clear. This wasn't about mayonnaise. What you just watched here was the result of a young man's pride and his ego and emotional instability all being tested. He didn't like what the dude said, and it's been boiling and baking for years, and it finally pushed him over the edge and he found a target. This guy's only 23 years old. Like I said, old enough to be my son. Young enough to be my son, but old enough to know better. Someone obviously didn't tell him that bringing a firearm to work at a fast food joint making minimum wage is a good idea. We all know that customers say the most outlandish things when you're working at these places. This guy must have said something he didn't like because he came to the defense of his female coworker and everything got out of hand. And instead of keeping it professional or even just walking away, give him another pack of mayonnaise. He climbs through a small drive-through window. How much energy does it take to actually climb through that drive-through window with a firearm in his waistband? Now, I don't want to hear any nonsense that this was self-defense. This wasn't self-defense. This was self-destruction. And here's the other thing. This dude has been doing this before. If he's going to take a firearm to work, there's other things that this young man has probably been doing. Just because we can't see his juvenile record, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Sealed records don't hide pattern behaviors. You don't go from 0 to murder unless you've rehearsed this sort of thing before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to, let's just move that aside. I'm not going to speculate on his home life because none of that stuff was relevant to the video, right? But here's what I've seen with my own eyes back in the day. That there are households with 2 parents and still the children would crash out. It doesn't matter. What matters is it's what's being taught in the house. what is being tolerated in the house and what's never being corrected in the house. And like I said in the beginning, I think it's because they put the handcuffs on parents when it comes to disciplining their kids. We need to bring that back. Because now, look, we got 2 lives destroyed. One is buried. The other one is going to be in a cell for the rest of his life. Over what? Over a pack of mayo? And here's food for thought for you guys. At some point, we have to stop blaming societal pressure, personal pain and experiences, past traumas, all these buzzwords that we hear. And we got to start holding people accountable for the choices they make. Because any man who can't control himself will always become a danger, not only to him, but to everyone else around him. Period. Now, what say you? You can leave it in the comments. You guys agree, disagree? If not, it's whatever. I'll see you on the next one.